Hi everyone, very good morning all of you. Welcome back to 4th lecture on remote sensing and GIS application. In previous class we discussed about basic concept of remote sensing, what are the stage in remote sensing, based on the source how to classify the remote sensing. Second one, electromagnetic radiation, what is electromagnetic radiation, how the electromagnetic radiation we define, how the electromagnetic radiation useful for us. What is next one, electromagnetic spectrum, what is spectrum, what is frequency, what is the types of remote sensing based on the electromagnetic spectrum. Based on the electromagnetic spectrum we divided into three types: thermal remote sensing, micro remote sensing and optical remote sensing. So, then energy interaction with the earth surface, how the electromagnetic radiation interact with the earth surface. These are all I already explained. Now, we are going to discuss about energy interaction with atmosphere. So, how the energy interaction with atmosphere. Now, this is very important for interaction with atmosphere. In previous class, we learned about how the sun's energy used for remote sensing, that is optical remote sensing. You know very well, passive remote sensing and active remote sensing. When the sun far away from the earth surface, the sun is emitted the electromagnetic radiation. The electromagnetic radiation reached to the earth surface. Before reaching the earth surface, the sun radiation interact with the atmosphere. Whenever the sun radiation interact with the atmosphere, some scattering occurs in the atmosphere. Then remaining energy is reached to the earth surface. Then after reflection takes place from here, then again the radiation go back to the atmosphere and reach to sensor. If you observe here, the sun energy interacts with the atmosphere twice. So, in this process sun energy interacts with the atmosphere twice. So, what you get? So, what happened? Sun energy interact with the atmosphere. You must know that, see, this is the satellite, sensor on board in the satellite, this is the atmosphere, we have sun and earth surface, again atmosphere. The sun radiation incident on the atmosphere earth surface, some radiation is scattered from the earth surface, some atmospheric surface due to the present in the so many particles in the atmosphere, haze particles, smoke particle, dust particles, nitrogen, oxygen, so many particles are present in the atmosphere. Due to the present in the atmosphere, some radiation is scattered. So, then once the radiation is passing through the atmosphere to earth surface, then again it go back to the sensor. So, what happened? The sun energy interact two times with atmosphere. So, what happened? Sun energy interact with the atmosphere. What happened? Scattering happened. Now, we are going to discuss about the scattering. Before going to discuss about the scattering, first you should know how much energy reached to the earth surface in the electromagnetic spectrum. How much of sun energy reached to the earth surface in the electromagnetic spectrum. Basically, see here, this is the sun radiation. Sun emits the electromagnetic radiation. This is the earth surface. 40% of sun energy or 42.3% of sun energy reached to the earth surface in the electromagnetic spectrum visible region. So, 42% is visible light is incident on the earth surface. Sun provides the 42% of light to the earth surface. Not only visible region, infrared region also here remain 49.4 sun energy reached to the earth surface in IR region of the electromagnetic spectrum. This is the IR region, infrared region. This region also, this radiation also reached to the earth surface. Not only infrared region, visible region. So, ultraviolet radiation makes up just over 8 percentage. So, 8 or 9 percentage of UV radiation reach to the earth surface. Remain 1% is gamma rays, X rays, these are all 1%. So, most of the radiation towards the earth surface in the electromagnetic spectrum, 3 regions, one infrared region, again visible region and ultraviolet region. Visible region is 42.3, infrared region is 49.4, ultraviolet is 8%. This is the daily sun radiation emits the electromagnetics towards the earth surface. These regions are very important to understanding the satellite data. Based on these regions, we can explain the spectral curves, spectral reflectance and spatial resolutions, temporal resolutions. These are all we are discussed later. That is why I explained these regions. Next, interaction with atmosphere and earth surface. The surface and volume interactions with matter can provide the number of changes in the incident electromagnetic radiation. See, whenever the radiation incident on the earth surface, the incident wavelength also changing, the incident energy also changing. So, the change detection recorded by the sensor. So, based on the change detection only, that changes, based on the changes only, we can easily analyze the temporal variations of the satellite data. So, here when the radiation incident on the earth surface, some magnitude is also changing, magnitude means intensity, then direction also changing, wavelength also changing, phase means amplitude, phase means angle, wavelength means distance, direction, magnitude means intensity or amplitude. So, these parameters always changing. This is the wave parameters. When the satellite or source of radiation, sun energy emits the electromagnetic radiation in the form of waves. That wave consists of, these are all terminology. That is why I already explained this terminology in previous class. What is amplitude, what is direction, what is wavelength, what is frequency, what is time period, what is phase. Phase means angle, wavelength means distance, direction and magnitude means intensity or amplitude. Each and every object on the earth surface, the incident radiation, these all parameters will be changed. Based on the changing of these parameters only, we can analyze any satellite image. So, that changes recorded the satellite image. Our remote sensing technology detect the recorded these changes. Remote sensing technology always detect these changes energies. The resulting images and data are interpreted to identify remotely the characteristics of the matter that produce the change in the electromagnetic radiation. So, whenever satellite gets the data, that data, after getting that satellite data, after interpretation of that data, then we can easily find out the properties of the matter. That satellite always record the energy in the form of these parameters. Now, what is scattering? Scattering of light is a phenomenon in which light rays get deviated from its straight path on striking on upscale like dust, gas molecules, water molecules. This is the sunlight. The sunlight always emits the electromagnetic radiation towards the earth surface. Before reaching the earth surface, the atmosphere consists of so many particles. Due to the present in the particles, the radiation is scattered. So, I will explain one particle. This is the sun radiation incident like this, and incident on the particle. So, whenever the sun radiation is in the atmospheric particle, this is edge particle or dust particle, some radiation is scattered. Scattered means change its original path, change its original path. See here, okay, change its original path. So, that is why its forward scattered light, backward scattered light, scattered in any direction. Some radiation is scattered in forward direction, some radiation is scattered in backward direction, some radiation is scattered in all directions. This is scattering. Scattering occur means scattering. What is scattering? It changes its original path in any direction. Some radiation is scattered in forward direction, some radiation is scattered in negative x direction, some radiation in any direction, scattered in all directions. What is atmospheric scattering? Atmospheric scattering occurs when particles or gas molecules present in the atmosphere cause electromagnetic radiation to be redirected from its original path. So, that is I already explained, redirected from its original path, redirected from its original path. So, this scattering depend upon two parameters. One is incident wavelength radiation, second one particle size of the particle, incident wavelength radiation. These two main important to done the scattering process. Wavelength is incident radiation having some wavelength. This is the incident radiation wavelength. Particle size, particle size of some particle is there. The distance between the how much radiation travel to the target, distance, size and wavelength. These three parameters very important, but in this topic we size of the particle, wavelength, based on these terminology we can explain these all scattering. Okay. First, based on the size of the particle, they divided into two scatterings. One is selective scattering, second one non-selective scattering. What is selective scattering? Selective scattering, based on the particles, they are divided into two scatterings. Selective scattering occurs when particles are more effective at scattering at a particular wavelength of light. So, scattering is occurring when certain particles are more effective at scattering at a particular wavelength of light. See here, if the light ray incident in this direction, scattered in this direction. If the light ray incident in this direction, scattered in another direction. Light ray incident in this direction, scattered in any direction. So, it changes its original path. First one, that is scattering. The scattering occurs when the particles are more effective. More effective means the particles are very active to whatever radiation incident on that particle. Immediately the particle is scattered in all directions. So, like that is the type of size of the particle based on based on the size of the particle, they are classified into two type of scatterings. One is Rayleigh scattering, Mie scattering. First one I will explain Rayleigh scattering. Rayleigh scattering, according to Rayleigh theory, scattering in all directions, scattering of the object is inversely proportional to the fourth power of the wavelength of illumination. Means scatter of the object is inversely proportional to the fourth power of the wavelength of radiation. During the scattering process, no energy is lost nor gained, no temperature changes. So, why? Because whatever radiation in the incident on this particle, the total radiation is emitted in all directions in same energy distributed in all directions. So, this is the incoming radiation, the same energy, how much energy is incident on this particle, the total energy is distributed or scattered in all directions, that is Rayleigh scattering. Okay. Then Rayleigh scattering, that is very important. Particles are very small, here two terminology, one is particle size, second one incident wavelength. Total this concept depend upon these two, one is particle size, second one wavelength of radiation. If the particle size is very less when compared to the incident wavelength radiation, in this case the Rayleigh scattering was occurred. So, the particle size is very less when compared to the incident wavelength radiation, that is called Rayleigh scattering. Light of shorter wavelength is scattered more than the light of longer wavelength. Here shorter wavelength is scattered more than the light of longer wavelength. So, what is the rule of what is the condition of the Rayleigh scattering? When the Rayleigh scattering is occurred, when the particle size is very less, compared to the wavelength radiation, this is called Rayleigh scattering. In this Rayleigh scattering, the shorter wavelengths are scattered more than longer wavelength. So, for example, a small particle size dust particles, molecules such as nitrogen and oxygen, these are all shorter wavelength particles. Here the fact that the sky appears blue during the day is because of this phenomena. Why the sky appears blue? Why? Because shorter wavelengths is scattered more. The sunlight passes through the atmosphere, the shorter wavelengths of the visible spectrum are scattered more than the other visible wavelengths. Here short wavelength is blue, I will show to you next slide. Here if you observe here, the shorter wavelength of this visible region, violet is shorter wavelength 0.4 micrometer, then 0.7 is red. So, 0.4 is violet, low wavelength, 0.7 is high wavelength. So, violet is low wavelength, red is high wavelength. So, this varies the shorter wavelengths here. This in the visual portion of the spectrum, violet portion, blue portion is the shorter wavelength region. So, this shorter wavelength region scattered more according to Rayleigh theory. Shorter wavelength region scattered more. Why? Because this wavelength is very low, scattered is very high. This radiation only scattered very high according to Rayleigh theory. That is why if you observe scattering intensity is inversely proportional to directly proportional to 1 by lambda power 4. So, lambda is short, lambda is very less, then scatter is very more. So, shorter wavelengths, when the lambda is very less 0.47 means very short wavelength, I means intensity of scattered light is very more, If you observe here, this is the violet 0.4, in this case scattered light is 81. See, when the blue, green, yellow, orange, red, if 0.7 is maximum wavelength, highly wavelength, longer wavelength, scattering is 15 or 510 like that. So, red scattered is only 510, but violet scattered is 80. So, shorter wavelength. Wavelength is less, I is more. Wavelength is less, I is more. Wavelength is less wavelength. Where is the less wavelength? If you see, less wavelength is violet and blue. Blue is less wavelength, scattering is very high. Scattering is very high. See, here wavelength is less, I is more. I is indicates, I represents the intensity of scattered light. Wavelength, this is. That is why blue scattered very, red is wavelength high, green is wavelength high, but blue is wavelength low. That is why blue is scattered more. Shorter wavelength scattered more. That is why sky appears blue in daytime. This is the upper surface of the earth surface, upper layer of the earth surface. I think why sky appears blue means, according to Rayleigh theory, scattered intensity is inversely proportional to lambda. So, lambda is low, I is high. So, lambda is the incident wavelength radiation. Incident wavelength radiation is high. Incident wavelength radiation is high for green. Incident wavelength radiation is low for blue. That is why the small particles present in this, when the small incident on the small particles, its scattering is occurring. Then this scattering is called Rayleigh scattering. Then what is Mie scattering? Particle size is same as wavelength of radiation, which includes dust, pollen, smoke. Particle size is same as the wavelength of radiation. Their particle size is less when compared to incident radiation, but here incident wavelength radiation and particle size of both are same. Particle size and wavelength of radiation, if the both are same, then Mie scattering was occurred. So, here dust, pollen, smoke particles are example. Mie scattering occur when the wavelength of electromagnetic radiation is similar in size of the particle of the atmosphere, same point. So, the most important cause of Mie scattering is aerosols. What is the most important cause of Mie scattering? Aerosols, mixture of gases, water vapor and dust particles. See, Mie scattering is generally restricted to the lower atmosphere. Rayleigh scattering is upper atmosphere. This is the lower atmosphere when larger particles are abundant and it dominates under the overcast cloudy condition. Mie scattering influences the spectral range from near infrared to middle infrared, has a great effect on radiation of longer wavelength Rayleigh scattering. What he is discussing here, Mie scattering is generally restricted to lower atmosphere. Here larger particles are when compared to Rayleigh scattering is the particle size very less, but here Mie scattering particle size is, when compared to Rayleigh scattering, particle size increases. This particle size is equal to the incident wavelength of radiation. When these two are equal, then the Mie scattering was occurring. So, when the Mie scattering is spectral range, which range is covered in the electromagnetic spectrum? Mie scattering UV portion of the spectrum, middle infrared to middle infrared region. So, it is the covered in the electromagnetic spectrum, that is called Mie scattering. So, Mie scattering, so many particles are presented here, the so white light is scattered in all directions, some light is penetrate to the atmosphere. Then non-selective scattering, particle size is much larger than the radiation of wavelength. Here what happened, particle size is very large. Rayleigh scattering is particle size is very low, Mie scattering is particle size increases, non-selective scattering is particle size increases very large. So, large dust particles or layer water droplets cause such scattering, which leads to white appearance for fog and cloud. So, fog and cloud, it leads to appearance to fog and cloud. This is the non-selective scattering. So much of clouds, large particles are present in the atmosphere, so much of radiation passes through the clouds, some radiation is penetrated to the clouds, some radiation blocked from the clouds. So here the atmospheric scattering, Rayleigh scattering, this is the Rayleigh scattering, in particle size is very less when compared to the incident wavelength radiation. This is the particle size and incident wavelength radiation, both are same. In this case, the Rayleigh scattering, in my scattering was occurred. And coming to Rayleigh scattering to non-selective scattering, the particle size increases. When the particle size increases, then when compared to the incident wavelength radiation, the particle size is more, then that is called non-selective scattering. These three the clear idea about these three particles. Then the size of the particles, based on the size of the particles only, the scattering divided into three types: Rayleigh, Mie scattering, non-selective scattering. Rayleigh scattering is very small particles, when compared to Rayleigh scattering is Mie scattering large particles. So see here, Rayleigh scattering. When the incident radiation, this is the incident radiation, this is the incident radiation of light. When the incident radiation of the light is incident on the small particle, it distributed in all directions, it deviates in all directions. This is the Rayleigh scattering. Mie scattering means when compared to Rayleigh scattering, the particle size is more, so much of radiation scattered in forward direction. So why? Because the particle size increases when compared to the incident wavelength radiation. Here Mie scattering large particles. This is the non-selective scattering. Non-selective scattering means when compared to Rayleigh Mie scattering, the particle size is very large. See here the particle size is very large. This is the non-selective scattering. So here the non-selective scattering, the particle size is very more. That's why the so much of radiation incident forwarding in direction, forward direction. This is scattered in all direction, it is scattered in forward direction, it is when more scattered in forward direction. This is a non-selective scattering. Then these are all the energy interaction. This is the atmospheric interaction, atmospheric scattering. So atmospheric scattering, three types of atmospheric scattering: Rayleigh scattering, Mie scattering, and non-selective scattering. These two are selective scattering. This is the non-selective scattering. Rayleigh scattering, Mie scattering depend upon the particle size. They are divided into two types. These are all under category of selective scattering. This is the non-selective scattering. This selective scattering, Rayleigh scattering, is wavelength is less, scattered intensity is more. So the shorter wavelength is scattered more in Rayleigh scattering. Mie scattering is both are equal. That's why whenever the particle size incident wavelength is equal, then the Mie scattering was occurring. Non-selective scattering, when the particle size is much more than incident wavelength radiation, then the non-selective scattering also happened. Here is the incident radiation. The radiation is distributed, deviated in all direction. Here the particle size increases. That's why when compared to Rayleigh scattering, the particle size of the Mie scattering increases. That's why so the forward scattering has happened. Most of the forward scattering happened where the particle size is more. So this is the atmospheric scattering. Next, energy interaction with the earth surface. So energy interaction, when the electromagnetic radiation incident on the surface, principal conservation of energy. Conservation of energy means how much you done the work, same amount of done energy lost. So work is equal to loss of energy. Like that, here incident radiation, some changing for some change takes place for reflection. This incident energy takes place the transmission energy. Due to this incident energy, the absorption energy takes place. So these three energies equal to incident energy. Due to the incident energy, these three are formed. That's why these adding of these three equations will get the incident energy. This is the energy equation balance equation. So incident energy E suffix r is a function of lambda, radiant energy E suffix t is a function of lambda, transmitted energy E suffix a is a function of absorbed energy. So, some radiation is incident, some radiation is observed, some radiation is transmitted, some radiation is reflected from the earth surface. This is the energy. So, till now we discussed about the interaction with atmosphere, how the interaction, how the sun radiation interaction with atmosphere, how the sun radiation is interaction with the surface materials. This is the entire concept of interaction with the atmosphere and earth surface. Please, you can watch my next lecture for next class. Thank you.